Addy. Today you have cross country, so I'm recording this asynchronous lesson for you. So I'm just going to talk about our different assignments, and then you can send me videos, show me how you're doing, so I can be ready if you need more updates next week, or if you need a video for any of your certain songs, you can go ahead and ask me for that. So our first thing on the list is major and minor scales, and we were doing them like C major, then C sharp, and D. So let me know how that's going. If you don't want to do all 24 every day for a warm-up, we could try, 4 to 6. But let me know how many of those you're doing and how you're feeling about it. And the idea is we'll get all of those different ones memorized, so you barely have to think about it. And you can do all 12 major and all 12 minor. But I'm also wanting to add arpeggios. So since you know the scales, this part's not too hard as far as the theory, because you just pick out the notes from within the scale that you already know. So in practice space, I added this file so that you can start marking the arpeggio patterns. Okay, so there's also a page in there that tells you the fingering for each of the major and minor arpeggios and scales, so you have a reference in case you forget. But like for this week, we're going to start with a C major and an A minor. So excuse my messy handwriting, I'm just using my mouse pad here. Okay, so what I want you to do is print out a bunch of these pages. You'll need at least 12 of them to do the whole set of majors and minors. So print out a stack for each house so that we can do this together at our lessons. Okay, and then the right hand fingering is going to be 1, 2, 3, and then we're doing 2 octaves, so another 1, 2, 3, and 5. Okay, so making your own copy of these will help you to memorize it. Now with the left hand, when we have an arpeggio that's all white keys, instead of using 3 in the middle, I want you to try and use 4. Okay, so it's 5, 4, 2, 1, and you cross your 4, 2, 1. Okay, so that's how I want you to write it on the sheet. And then when you're playing it, do it this way. 5, 4, 2, 1. Slow and accurate is really important. And you're not going to be able to play an arpeggio at the same speed as these player scales. These should go quite a bit slower. And when you're learning, especially slow, so you can be accurate. And the right hand, 1, 2, 3, and I really have to sneak my thumb. I push it as far underneath my hand as I can. You try not to turn. 1, 2. Oops, did you hear my flub? Okay, then when you put them together, make sure you really feel confident with hands apart first, so a few practices each. So we'll end up going through them all. I think we'll go around the circle of fifths. We'll start with C and A minor, and then when you feel good about those, we'll go to G major and E minor and keep adding a sharp until we're back around the circle of fifths. Okay, so that's the new thing I want you to work on. Right now I'm pulling up practice space so I can remember what else you were practicing. Oh yeah, the Blues Scales by Daniel McFarlane. So we were on C blues, and I'm thinking we're probably going to do 1 or 2 more weeks on that. I want you to feel really confident on C, and then we'll start changing it to the other keys. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, good. So we get to do 1 in each key. For the blues, so C was going pretty well. You can always send me a video, show me how it's going, or when I see you next week, we'll decide if it's like getting pretty good, you're ready for a new challenge, or if we want to stick with that one. And remember to stay steady. Don't speed up too much. And you can always listen to the recording so you know about the tempo we're aiming for. Not crazy fast. Okay, so we have major and minor scales, we have blues scales, we have arpeggios, and then it looks like our 2 songs right now are Spirited Away and Fallen Down. So I was thinking about adding another song, but this feels like a pretty long list of stuff, and I know you've got trumpet and all your other activities. So we'll stick with 2 songs for now. I'm opening up Spirited Away, One Summer's Day for myself here. Good, and we were still kind of on page 1. So when I listen to you next week, I'll be especially listening to the parts where you're playing hands together. Those opening chords were going pretty well. And let's say our goal for this time, I'm hoping you can play up to measure 29. Okay, that's on page 2, measure 29. So it kind of ends another section. And if there's any parts in there where you're totally lost, you need extra help, you want to have a video of it, feel free to ask, and I will add that into your classroom. But I don't want to add too much if you're doing okay with it. All right, so I'm writing down up to measure 30. In our lesson notes. Spirited Away to measure 30. And I'm opening up Fallen Down to take a peek at it. Okay, this one was a little less complicated, but there is some pedaling to think about. So I'm going to be listening for accurate pedaling, not muddy, not holding it too long, and not thumping the pedal. Right? So you have good pedal technique with your heel on the ground. Okay, so you should be able to make it. Page 1, first and second endings shouldn't be a problem. So to add a little more this week, let's try to get to the end of the page. That's measure 12. Okay, so try to get all that nice and smooth, hands together, good pedaling. I'll make that note in here that we're aiming for measure 12. Okay, and I have been making a version of Spirit of Justice. that one. For one of my other students. So if you're interested in an additional undertale, or maybe we can wait till you've finished Fallen Down, just let me know, because I actually have at least page 1 of the music all ready to share. Okay, so just to go over the assignment list again, we're looking at major and minor scales, or we're doing the major scales chromatically, sorry, not minor. And our arpeggios, we're doing 2 octaves, C major and A minor. And please print out a few copies of that blank keyboard page so we can start writing in all the fingerings to help you remember. And keep going with your C Blues by Daniel McFarland, Spirited Away to measure 30, and Fallen Down to measure 12. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good list of stuff that should keep you busy for, you're doing 30 minutes every other day. That should fill up your time. But let me know if you have any questions, need extra help with anything. I am happy to be here for you. And good luck at cross country. I'll see you next week.